Hello friends and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Joy and today we will be discussing about the menace of micro-targeted political ads. So here we will discuss what is online political advertising. We will also see what are the issues with the micro-targeting in political advertisements. And we will also see what is the stand of social medias on micro-advertising or micro-targeting. We will also see what are the measures to be needed or measures to be taken, and we will also discuss the current affair, why micro-targeted political ads has become a very important current affair. So first of all, let us move to the current affair. Let us see what is the current affair. So leading social media platforms like the Twitter are considering a ban on the micro-targeted political ads. So, you know the importance and significance of social media platforms in this era. Social media is playing a very important role in spreading information, in spreading awareness, and also to reaching out to millions of people. So, various leading social media platforms like the Twitter, they are considering a ban on the micro-targeted political ads. So, this is the current affair. Now, what is online political advertising? So what are they? So basically the online political advertisings, they are certain messages that are intended to reach a large audience. So certain messages or political messages that aims a large group. So a large audience, they are called political online advertising. So they advertise or spread this information or message through an online platform. So this can be through periodicals, sample bullets, websites, emails, text messages, social media or any other online or electronic format which enable the exchange of communication. So these ad campaigns, these advertisement campaigns, they are used for appealing for votes or for financial support or any other support in an election campaign. So basically political advertising refers to advertising through any online platform in order to attract a large audience, to convince them regarding some political ideology, to appeal for votes or to ask for financial support or any kind of support during a election campaign. Now, two things that makes online political advertising different from that of other advertising. What are the two things that makes it very different? The first one is the targeting, second one is the invisibility. Let us see what are they. First one, targeting. So the online advertising allows, especially on social networks or social media platforms, for a kind of targeting that was not possible at the same level before. So this helps in targeting a particular group. Let us take for example Facebook. While you log into your Facebook, what you do is you give your basic information. For example, your gender, your place of living or your caste, your religion, your religious ideologies, your political ideologies, your interest. So certain basic information has to be given. So this will help the social media platforms in targeted advertising. So they can target a particular group based on their interest, based on their caste, their community, their gender. So this will help in better targeting. So this is the first thing that makes social media platforms or online advertising very different from that of normal advertising. Now, second one is their invisibility. So if there is targeted advertising on a social media platform, not everyone knows about it. That means the targeted group only knows about the advertisement. So each person will get a different advertisement based on the likes, the interest, the community, the basic information of that particular individual. So based on the particular information of a particular individual, the advertisement that will reach an individual will also be different. So in that sense, this is invisible. That is, one advertisement that is received by a single person, it will not be made public, or the same advertisement will not be received by the entire people. So these two things, these two features of online advertising makes it very special or makes it different from that of usual advertising. Now let us come to the issues with micro-targeting in the political sense. What are the issues with micro-targeting in political sense? So personalized targeting. based on multiple attributes is possible through platforms like Facebook, Twitter, etc. As I said, it is because you have to give your basic information like your place of birth, your place of living, your gender, your religion, your community, your views on politics, your views on religion, everything has to be given. So your basic information is handy with the social media. So personalized targeting is possible. For example, Facebook allows to choose a person from a particular caste, and from that particular caste can be chosen. So such type of particular targeting or targeted advertisements makes it possible for two people connected on the same internet source to get two different advertisements. So we have seen the example of Facebook. In your Facebook account, you have to provide your basic information. Suppose there are two people from two different communities. Say for example, one is a Hindu, the second one is a Christian. So both of them would be having different religious ideologies, different interests. So it is possible on a social media platform, on an internet platform, that both of them get different advertisements. So this is possible on a social media platform, and this is called personalized targeting. Now, second one is micro-targeting. Micro-targeting has got potentially damaging results in the context of political advertising, especially for elections. This is because micro-targeting makes it possible to go from manufacturing consent to manipulating consent. This means that a particular person can be continuously fed with information to vote for a particular party. This is possible. So a particular person would be getting information to vote for a particular party. And this methodology in which these platforms have got their business models and how they are engaging deeply in subverting the Indian democratic process, this is a cause of concern. We have seen very recently that the role of Facebook played in the elections held in US. So similarly, social media helps in targeting advertising or micro-targeting or personalized targeting. So definitely by manipulating certain political ideologies or by feeding the target group with targeted advertisements, it is definitely subverting the Indian democratic process. Now let us see what is the stand of social medias on micro-targeting. What is their opinion on this? So many social media platforms like the Facebook, Twitter, which are very popular social media platforms, they claim that they are only intermediaries. They are only internet intermediaries who provide space, and the content that is being generated by the people, they have no role in it. So they claim that they are only intermediaries who provide a space for the people to generate content and to spread the content. So the content that is generated and the content that is distributed or spread, they have no role in it. And these intermediaries, they defend them with the clause that they are not automatically liable for what people are seeing on the platforms. So they say that people have their own choice. So people have the right to choose, and it is the people who choose what they want to see on the social media platforms. Therefore, they cannot be held responsible for what the people is viewing on the social media platforms. And they also say that the people who are actually saying things should be held liable, not necessarily who are carrying it without knowledge what they are carrying most of the time. So they say that they are intermediaries. Now what is the role of intermediaries? It is to provide a space and to carry the information. So they say that intermediaries who are people who are carrying it without knowing what they are carrying most of the time. They do not have an idea on what the content is being transferred or being publicized. So they should not be held liable, but instead people who are actually generating the content, they should be held responsible. So this is the claim of the social media platforms. And online platforms, in comparison with the political ads in newspapers, they are able to provide greater transparency. So this is the stand of the social media. So this is what the claims of the social media are. Now let us see what are the measures needed. Here the role has to be played by two important stakeholders. One is the Election Commission of India, who is responsible for the conduct of a free and fair election in the country. in order to provide a level playing ground for all the political parties. Second one is the role and responsibility of the social media platforms itself. So let us see and understand what are the roles and measures needed from both of the stakeholders. Firstly, coming to the role of the Election Commission of India, who is responsible for conducting fair and free elections in the country and whose mandate is to ensure that there is a level playing field for everyone to contest in the elections and people get adequate freedom to choose their representative. So this is the mandate of the Election Commission of India. Now coming to the role of the Election Commission of India. When the people come to participate and engage in a democratic process, then the Election Commission and the Representation of the People's Act, the RPA. The RPA mandate that people should be allowed to take a very clear stand. So basically, Election Commission has to ensure that people get a fair chance on determining the representative of the people based on their past 5 years experience. So based on the last 5 years, people will have to decide how to vote freely and fairly. So this is the mandate of Election Commission as well as the Representation of People's Act. Very, very important legislation. So in this context, RPA, the Representation of People Act, clearly lists certain set of things for the conduct of free and fair elections. So it clearly mentions that money or manipulation should not be allowed to happen. And the Election Commission should come up with new methodologies if the existing ones are not sufficient in order to address the micro-targeting of political advertisements. So Election Commission is responsible to ensure free and fair elections in the country. So it should come up with measures, new methodologies to address micro-targeting if the already in place steps or measures are not enough. And also the Election Commission should make public the way in which this advertising is being conducted. So there should be enough transparency. The Election Commission should make it public on the way in which this advertising is being conducted, the money associated with this, how much money is used for this micro-targeting advertisements, and also the people who are being reached with it, the target group. And also the Election Commission should reach out to the Government of India, the government, and look at the departments that are capable of handling this. Maybe the Ministry of Information Technology, certain departments in specific would be able to better deal with this. So the Election Commission should cooperate and coordinate with these departments, these government agencies, to ensure that this does not happen. And if there is an absence of such an infrastructure or such a department, then the Election Commission should start creating an infrastructure that will be able to look into these aspects of micro-targeting, manipulation, etc. So basically, Election Commission should play the role of Election Commission to conduct free and fair elections to the fuller extent. That is what is required. Now second one is the role of the social media platforms itself. So the role of social media platforms, the social media corporations who are responsible for political advertisements needs to be transparent in the context of elections. So they should ensure transparency. How can this transparency be ensured? So the transparency can be ensured by bringing out all the ways in which advertisements are displayed and also the money associated with it. So social media platforms, they should basically make public or bring out the ways in which these advertisements are displayed and also the quantum of money used for it. So basically, all the legislations that are in place now for reasonable restrictions on the freedom of speech and expression. Article 19 of Indian Constitution guarantees freedom of speech and expression as a fundamental right. But the government or the authorities can put reasonable restrictions to it. So the legislations that apply for reasonable restrictions on the freedom of speech and freedom of press should also apply to the social media platforms. So reasonable restrictions can be put on the social media platforms as well. So these platforms, these social media platforms are culpable when the very intention of the business model allows for the subversion of democratic process. So at any cost, the subversion of democratic process should not be allowed. They need to be brought in line to ensure that the democracy is safe. So the social media platforms should be brought in line to ensure that the process of democracy, the process of elections in India is safe from manipulation, it is free and fair, and people get an adequate freedom to ensure that they choose their representatives in a free and fair manner. So this is the role of social media platforms, and the role played by Election Commission and the social media platforms are very, very important. You can find the PDF of this lecture on our website www.studyiq.com. You can follow my Facebook page for more video updates. You can write to me at joyce.studyiq@gmail.com for any of your queries and clarification. Thank you.